Welcome to our daily countdown on Nigeria Super Fans Forum to the 2022 FIFA World Cup. My name is Olufemi Ashalu. It is now officially 18 days to the commencement of that tournament. Of course, the air is already filled with wind coming from Qatar. Like we've been repeatedly said on this show, of course, we expect, various clubs maybe to issue a statement to let the fans know that in the short while they will be releasing players to their respective national teams. So today on the show, of course, Ghana first get our attention, and the report coming from Ghana is that some individuals are trying to influence Otoado's list to enforce players on him, players he might not necessarily use at the tournament. And this is really bad. And of course, we'll also take a trip to Cameroon, where the FECAFOOT are embroiled in a kit sponsorship problem ahead of the tournament. Cameroon already in Wahala, like we say right here in Nigeria. Even before the tournament, they have a huge challenge ahead of them in their good facing Brazil and Serbia, of course. So, Kayode Ogundare joins us via video. Kayode, welcome to our daily countdown.
Thank you, Femi. It's always a pleasure being here.
Okay, thank God you've not escaped back to Qatar. James Agberebi joins us live in the studio.
Yeah, thank you, Femi.
Okay, Kayode, I'll start with you very quickly. There are reports, like I said in the intro, that some individuals in Ghana might want to influence Otoado to pick certain players that he will not necessarily be using at the tournament. And Nyantakyi, the former GFA president, is, of course, urging him to stick with what he has in mind. But Kayode, I think it is bad that some individuals, despite support by President Nana Akufo-Addo, that Otoado should be left alone to do his job, some individuals are still trying to force him to take players he will not use at the World Cup. Kayode.
I mean, it's all about interest. It is everywhere. Everybody wants to protect their own pot of soup. It is now left to Addo. Addo is in a very, very strong position. Already, he has said he's leaving after the World Cup, so he doesn't owe anybody anything. If he takes any player, Femi, when I see his final list, I want to believe that is his list. He is not beholden to anybody. If he's angling to have the job for longer than the World Cup, then it could be like, oh, I will need this person's support. Oh, let me listen to him. Let me take his player. But he has already said he's leaving. So I will not listen to anybody who tells me that somebody was imposed on him. That has always been the problem with African football. People who know next to nothing about football imposing players on coaches. But I'm telling you now that in this case, this is an exception. Otoado is in a very strong position. He's leaving at the end of the World Cup. He doesn't have to listen to anybody. Pick your players. The players he picks, I will believe are his choices. Not that anybody has imposed them, because he's not looking to extend his stay with the Black Stars. So why would he listen to anybody? He should just pick his players, and whatever happens, it is his players.
Okay. James, of course, Nyantakyi said no coach worth his salt will allow somebody to dictate to him who should play and who shouldn't play. If any coach did that, then he is not a coach, because as a coach, the responsibility lies squarely at your doorstep. James, it is very sad. Though we're still expecting Otoado to release his 55-man provisional list for the tournament. We haven't seen it yet. We don't know whether this is actually playing a role in that, but why are we always here like this?
I don't even understand. I think by now we should have an idea of what the list will look like, especially after the friendly games they had against Brazil and Nicaragua. You know, I believe the game against Switzerland is just to finalize. I believe he has his team already. So all this talk about some people trying to influence him, trying to bring in new, trying to push, I mean, they don't need it now, because what should be uppermost in their mind now is how to get a good team, how to make sure the team is fully concentrated and focused, because it's a big task ahead of them now. So all this talk about trying to influence him now is for me, it's kind of being distracted. I mean, the team don't need that now. They need all the concentration that they can get now. And so for me, I think you should just focus. The good thing there is after the World Cup is going, so he has every power. Everything is within his control now, so he doesn't need to listen to anybody. focus and make sure you are able to get the right set of players to prosecute the World Cup.
Okay, of course, Kayode, if you could remember, I think there was something we said last week that some individuals advised Otoado to delay his 55-man list, just maybe to come as a surprise. I don't know, maybe that this has a role to play. And some individuals, of course, in Ghana, they've also been pushing for a particular player of Atofo called Afriye. We don't know whether this also has a role to play. But let's go to Cameroon. Cameroon, like we said, they are embroiled in a kit sponsorship issue ahead of the World Cup. They had an agreement with a kitting company, and now they are alleging that the kitting company has failed to fulfill its own part of the bargain, which is to supply all the national teams with kits and as well as open stores around Cameroon. But now the Samuel Eto'o-led FECAFOOT, they've entered an agreement with another US company of course, to keep the Indomitable Lions at the World Cup. And, of course, traders, even in Cameroon, are saying that people do not want to buy the old stock because they are saying the new stock will soon come out. And there seems to be a back and forth. Maybe this might even result in legal issue. It is also not good for the Indomitable Lions. Kayode.
Like Cameroon, like Nigeria, always running in circles. I think it just what my takeaway from this, from what you said to me, is the benefit of going to the World Cup. You look at the down lines, even traders on the streets have one or two things to benefit from going to the World Cup. That's the essence. Femi, that's what separates those who are going to the World Cup from those who are going to watch from home. You see, you know the you know the business of the World Cup now. Everybody benefits down the line. The vendors, the kit suppliers, the team, the players, the officials, even we, the fans, we benefit good football for 30 days. So for me, that's an aside anyway. But if an agreement is signed and you think they are not living up to the terms of the agreement, go to arbitration. Find a way to annul the contract. You do not sign another contract where one is subsisting. If you think they have not made the terms of the contract, Femi, annul it first. Why do we keep doing this to ourselves? If these other parties should go to court now, everybody will look at them as the bad guys. No, they have a valid contract with you. If they are not keeping to the terms, go to court or seek arbitration. In the terms of your agreement, there are grants for annulment. You should just seek those ones. You don't just leave a contract running, go for another one. That you are opening up your flanks for a lawsuit. If they take you to court now, everybody will say, they are distracting Cameroon from preparing for the World Cup. Meanwhile, it is the FA, the FECAFOOT, that has left themselves open to attack. I agree that if they are not supplying you what you ordered for, you are free to look for other people. But first, close that door before you open another one. That's it. For me, it's common sense. But I have found out, Femi, that in African football, common sense is not common. It's not common. The two of all people. Yeah, I'm serious. Eto'o should know this. You don't open another door. You close one door before you open another one. Annul the contract. Be done with them. Then you can bring in this other contract. In fact, you can be negotiating with these other people whilst you are dealing with these people. Once you have annulled it, it doesn't have to take 24 hours before you announce a new deal. It means you have already worked on the ground. You just have announced the new deal and you are off. But now that you left one deal still running because it's still valid, you are going for another one. If these people should take you to court, which they are legally entitled to, everybody will look at them as bad guys. So I don't understand. Honestly, I do not. I expect better. Okay,
for emphasis, the FECAFOOT contract with Francis Le Coq Sportif runs until 2023. So, like how they said, of course, the contract is still legally binding. But the FECAFOOT decided to go ahead with a U.S. company known as One All Sports to sign a new contract. James, like how they said, maybe even in the middle of the World Cup, the FECAFOOT might have a lawsuit waiting for them.
about Africa, you know. I mean, these are the things we always.
But we do not always have to be like this.
These are the things we always talk about Africans. Imagine just how many days to the World Cup. Look at the issue that's already up. I mean, how do you expect the team now to even concentrate? How do you expect the players to focus and put up a good performance?
I hope the Indomitable Lions, the players will not wear maybe a kit by one all sport in the US. And of course, maybe police officer will come and say, you are wearing an illegal shirt. We have to put it off, you know?
So, I mean, we cannot continue like this until we put all these things. That's why you see the other top countries. You will never hear things like this. You never hear things of maybe allowances, kits, probably, all those things that be taken care of. But in Africa, that's where you start hearing, oh, they've not paid bonus, oh, they've not paid allowance, oh, they're having a kit, all those flimsy things that should have been taken care of before the major tournament. I mean, that's Africa for you. Until we put all this things aside, the bad side is we now go to the World Cup. We now be thinking, oh, they don't like us. The officiating is against us, and I mean, start coming to all kinds of flimsy excuses. So I just hope that they're able to sort this out and let the players focus for once. I mean, you can't continue like. I remember in 1994, Cameroon had issues going to that US 94 and they got battered. By remember they have hammered 6-1 by Russia. I hope they are not going to. We're not going to do something worse than this.
They're facing Brazil, exactly. Serbia.
So I mean, I don't know. No matter the kind of friendly games or this thing, once you don't sort all this thing out, you are going to be disgraced at the World Cup. There's no point in it.
Kaido Gundare, thank you for joining us on our daily countdown. And James, okay, James, thank you for coming as well.
It's always a pleasure.
Like they've said, the only thing we know how to do in Africa is pray. We pray more than every other part of the world, but we do not sit down to use our common sense to do the right things. Join us tomorrow for our daily countdown on Nigeria Super Fans Forum. My name remains Olufemi Ashaolu. Bye for now.